The yacht swayed gently on the water, its deck alive with the clink of champagne glasses and the hum of laughter. The sunset was a masterpiece, splashing the sky with fiery oranges and soft pinks, while the DJ spun a flawless mix of upbeat tracks that kept the vibe just right. My guest friends, former colleagues, and a few neighbors I'd actually clicked with were VYing the time of their lives. I leaned against the railing, a glass of bourbon in hand, soaking in the moment. This was my night, a celebration of selling my tech startup for a cool 9 figures. Everything was perfect, until it wasn't. A shout cut through the music, sharp and jarring, from the boarding area. Heads turned, conversations froze, and I squinted toward the commotion. A woman, dressed to the nines in a tailored white pantsuit and dripping with diamond jewelry, was VYing past my security team. Her heel ski high and wildly impractical for a yacht clicked furiously against the deck. "I belong here," she shrieked, her voice slicing through the air like a siren. "This is my crowd." She waved her arms dramatically, dodging a guard with surprising agility. The music scratched to a halt. Champagne flutes hovered midair. My guests stared, dumbfounded, as this stranger stormed the party. But I knew exactly who she was. That voice, that attitude, it was Vanessa Monroe, the iron-fisted president of our HOA, and my personal nightmare. Let me back up. 6 months ago, I'd bought my dream house in Crest EW Shores, a gated community where every lawn was pristine and every house screamed Mediterranean elegance. At 32, I was ready to plant roots after cashing out my startup. What I didn't expect was MOVYing into Vanessa's kingdom. From the moment I arrived, she made it her mission to remind me I didn't belong. First, it was a citation for my grass being a 1/4 inch too long. Then, a warning about my mailbox being the wrong shade of navy. When I left my Porsche on the street for 20 minutes while unloading groceries, I came back to a fluorescent pink violation sticker that took 2 hours to scrape off. Week after week, her petty rules piled up. Me porch light was too bright. My recycling bin was misaligned. It was death by 1,000 cuts, all delivered with her smug, superior smile. So, when I planned this yacht party to celebrate my company's acquisition, Vanessa's name was nowhere near the guest list. I invited people who mattered, friends who'd supported me, colleagues who'd built the business with me, and a handful of neighbors who'd ignore Vanessa's whispers about the new guy who doesn't respect our standards. This party was my escape, a night to forget her tyranny. We set sail from the community marina at 7 p.m. sharp. The caterers served VYing up lobster bites and truffle sliders as we cruised along the coastline. The bar was stocked with the good stuff, think 18-year-old scotch and vintage champagne. For the first hour, it was pure bliss. Then the whispers started. Guests mentioned a woman nobody recognized wandering below deck, poking her nose into cabins and muttering about the decor. Tacky, she called my custom leather upholstery. Some thought she was a +1. My buddy Jake was the first to clock her Vanessa, unmistakable with her gaudy diamond choker and that absurd silk scarf she wore to every HOA meeting, the one with tiny anchors she thought screamed coastal elite. "Yo, man, hakehist, puling me saif." Vanessa's on your yacht. She's downstairs complaining about your soap dispensers. My stomach lurched. No way. Security had checked every guest against the list. But more reports trickled in, and soon it was undeniable. Vanessa had crashed my party. The question was how and why. The answer came fast. As we glided into the bay for dinner, Vanessa strutted up from below deck, clutching a flute of my priciest champagne. She worked the crowd like she owned the place, her voice carrying over the waves. "Such an eclectic guest list," she sneered, eyeing a group of my college buddies. She cornered a trio of investors who'd backed my startup, announcing, "I manage the community where he lives. I'm basically his boss when it comes to property matters." Her laugh shrill, grating made my skin crawl. Some of these people clearly don't grasp the caliber of this event. Standards have slipped. I was second from stepping in when Vanessa made her move. She darted to the DJ booth, snatched the mic, and tapped it so hard the feedback screeched. The music died. All eyes locked on her. This was the moment things went from awkward to outright chaotic. "Good evening, everyone," she declared, swaying as the yacht rocked. As president of Crest VY EW Shores Homeowners Association, I'm here to welcome you to our community's waters. She gestured toward the shore like she'd personally funded the ocean. I wasn't in VY TED to this little gathering, she said, her voice thick with venom, which was OBVY usly a mistake. If we're celebrating success and status, I belong here more than most of you. Gasps rippled through the crowd. She pointed at my college friends. Do you even own property? Do you know what it takes to uphold standards? This is my world. I'm the elite, the decision maker. My security team closed in, but Vanessa wasn't done. I set the standard in Crest VY EW Shores, she bellowed, jabbing a finger at me. Not him. I'd had enough. Keeping my cool, I strolled toward her, flashing a smile for my guests. I nodded to my security chief, who slipped me his tablet. On it was crystal clear footage from the marina. Vanessa, in those ridiculous heels, climbing over a side gate when the guard looked away, then flashing a stolen RSVP code to board while the crew was swamped. Vanessa, I said, my voice steady. There's been a mix-up. She spun on me, eyes blazing. The only mix-up is you ignoring my status, she snapped, but her bravado faltered as she noticed the crowd watching. I turned to my guests. Sorry for the disruption, folks. We have a Yin VY TED guest who got creative with her entry. I held up the tablet for security to see. Please escort Ms. Monroe off at the next dock. Vanessa's face turned crimson. You can't remove me. Do you know who I am? I'll have your docking rights revoked. As security closed in, her threats grew wilder. This man's VY OLAT 19 HOA rules this month. His fence is half an inch too high. His Christmas lights stayed up 3 days late. For the first time in months, I felt a strange calm. On my yacht, surrounded by my people, Vanessa's power was nothing. My security chief leaned in. Harbor police are on their way. Trespassing on a private vessel is no joke. Vanessa overheard, and her rant shifted. This is discrimination against HOA leadership. I was inspecting this vessel. It's in community waters. Nobody bought it. 30 minutes later, we pulled into the marina, where 2 officers waited. Vanessa had been corralled in the lounge, scribbling citations on napkins for unauthorized maritime events and failure to invite HOA officials. As the police boarded, witnesses confirmed she'd crashed the party and caused a scene, backed by the footage of her sneaking in. Ma'am, you're coming with us, an officer said. You're detained for trespassing and disorderly conduct. Vanessa's jaw dropped. Do you know who I am? I run Crest VY EW Shores. I know the mayor's cousin. The officers didn't flinch. As they led her toward the gangplank, she grabbed a railing, screaming about property rights and community standards. When an officer tried to loosen her grip, she swung her designer purse, clipping the other cop. That's assault, the officer said, pulling out handcuffs. You're under arrest. Handcuffed and fuming, Vanessa was marched off the yacht, still yelling, I am the standard. I belong with my kind. Guests whipped out their phones, recording every second. I knew this would blow up online. 2 weeks later, a certified letter arrived, and I couldn't stop grinning. After Vanessa's arrest for trespassing, disorderly conduct, and assault, the HOA board held an emergency meeting. She'd claimed the yacht party was a mandatory community event she had to attend as president-elect, so absurd even her allies bailed. She was booted from the board, slapped with due law $18,000 in legal fees, a due law $6,000 fine, and 120 hours of community service VYC. Her real estate firm sidelined her, unpaid, as the VY Raul VY Deo tanked her reputation. I folded the letter, picturing Vanessa's face when the cuffs snapped on that same stunned look when her HOA throne crumbled. For months, I'd endured her petty reign, but now she was just a story, a cautionary tale of entitlement gone wrong. What do you think? Did Vanessa get what she deserved? Or was she just misunderstood? Should HOA presidents have the power to control communities like this? Or is it time to rethink their authority? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button if you're team justice, and subscribe for more wild stories like this one.